Greetings, fans, and welcome to all your cricket. The Ashes is heating up over there in Australia, down under in Perth. 19 wickets fell on the opening day. What a brilliant day of Test cricket. The excitement, the drama, the Ashes, as always, never fails. Malik, how you doing?
Roger, it's a night of cricket. Three games going on almost all at the same time. I think India, South Africa starts in the next few minutes. But Ashes day two is in full swing. West Indies versus New Zealand, the third ODI, already halfway through the first innings.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to touch on all of that, Samir. But the Ashes, the hot one right now, let's talk about it. England won the toss, made 172 with Harry Brook scoring 52 runs. Ollie Pope, the much maligned Ollie Pope, Samir. Ollie Pope, someone who has performed for England, but for some reason they're always talking about leaving Ollie Pope out of the team. Whenever England get together to talk about, you know, what the team is going to look like, what they're going to do, Ollie Pope's always the guy. Mitchell Starc, 7 for 58. What a performance by Mitchell Starc. Just a consummate profession. Australia, obviously, without Pat Cummins, their captain, also without Josh Hazlewood, Samir. So they brought in Doggett. He made his debut. And of course, the opening bowler, he got smashed all over the place. He got really killed.
Boland.
Boland, he got smashed all over the
No,
place.
he didn't get killed. Harry Brook just took a liking to him.
Yeah. So, Samir, talk about the playing 11s. Were you surprised at what Australia went in? Obviously, they went in with Weatherburn as the opening batsman. Kawaja would have been his opening partner, but he ended up not opening. We should talk about that actually. And then obviously Marnus Labuschagne back in form. Steve Smith, Cam Green, Travis Head, Alex Carey. From an England perspective, Samir, they went with five seamers. Wood, Archer, Cars, Ben Stokes, and I'm missing someone. There's another seamer.
Wood.
Mark Wood. And obviously their lineup of Ben Duckett, Zach Crawley, Pope, Joe Root, Harry Brook. Oh man, the fact that England went with
No.
five teamers.
No surprise in both the teams. It was a given that was what the combination was going to be. The expectation at the Perth Stadium was that this was going to be a very fast pitch, and it's playing out that way. Australia, I think, struggled significantly. Khwaja was, off the field for a significant period of time, and that was the reason why he couldn't open. So Marnus Labuschagne was forced into opening. But what an opening spell by the English seamers, though. Steve Smith couldn't get off the mark for a while. Marnus couldn't score any runs. I think he ended up with 9 of 41. Steve Smith got out. They were 31 for 4. And at the end of the day, they were 123 for 9 with Stokes taking those last 5 wickets. Another amazing performance. But before Stokes' performance, Starc had his best figures ever. 7 for 58. He was destructive. And if not for Brooks scoring that magnificent 52 in no time, I think England would have been bundled out for 100 odd too.
Boland, Samir, surprisingly, didn't go well at all, right? He's someone who, whenever he is filled in, is always taking wickets. He's taking 6-7 wickets all the time. And suddenly he's now being thrusted into a position, Samir, where he's the man, right? With both the top seamers out, he's now opening the bowling. And of course, when the pressure is on you to actually be that person to stand up, sometimes when the lights are the brightest, sometimes it doesn't work out the way we're expecting, because he wasn't very good. I mean, we could not taking any credit away from Harry Brook, obviously, who played a tremendous innings, but still, when the lights shone bright, Samir, Boland was nowhere to be found last night.
Hey, you're absolutely right, but I think at some point, the guy was going to have a down day. That's what I believe. I remember he's had so many significant performances for Australia over the last, I would say, 24 months or so, right? So
Yeah.
whenever Hazelwood's gone down, he's usually covered for him. I think in this occasion it was too much. I remember he wasn't only covering for Hazelwood; he was also expected to cover for Cummins. You can't cover for two; you can cover for one, and that's what happened here. So a down day, but I fully expect him to bounce back in the second innings. And then once again, remember it eased the burden that Starc was bowling so well, right? That's what it was. So even though Bolin wasn't doing well, Starc was doing amazing, and I think that's the key. Australia always has someone who steps up. This time round, to be honest, it was Starc. He stepped up in a big way. 7 wickets for 58. Remember, nobody's ever going to question Starc's ability, but to rise to the occasion on the Ashes, taking a first over wicket again. How many times has he done that, right, in a series where he opens the series with a wicket? And that's what he's done here. Unbelievable performance by him, but Australian batsmen let him down.
Um, by the way, Kawaja was criticized by Brad Hogg, who essentially said, it was irresponsible of him to go off the field, Samir. Now, I know he had back spasms, and you and I had this conversation earlier on today, Samir, and I sort of thought the same thing. Your team is going to bat. You're an opening batsman. You don't want to put in this case, Marnus in a position, where he doesn't want to be, or have someone have, because it's probably nerve-wracking somewhere if you really think about it. In an Ashes opener, right? To have someone, especially someone like Marnus, who's been out of form, who is just finding his way back, who expects to bat one down, suddenly being asked to open and batting is not a good look. And let's be honest, although he had back spasms, he could have found a way, I think, to stay on the field to make sure that he could open the batting.
No, Roger, I disagree with you completely here. Khwaja, he's an experienced veteran on this team. Remember, he's 39 years old. He's played a lot of cricket, scored a lot of runs for Australia. I doubt that he would do this on purpose, or he would do it without thinking about it. I think he really had an issue. And even if when you saw him come into bat, that first delivery he faced, you could already see that he was very stiff. So I don't think that was the case. I think, you got to give the benefit of the doubt to an experienced player like this. Now, you can say, listen, he hasn't scored a lot of runs recently. So, that could be an issue. You could target him for that. But I think, Khwaja is, once again, a very experienced player. I doubt if he did this on purpose.
All right. By the way, Australia bowled out. So now they're bowled out for 132. So Australia trail by 40 runs. So let's just run through the scorecard really quickly here, Samir. England 172. Zach Crawley, he got a duck. Ben Duckett 21. Ollie Pope 46. Harry Brook 52. Jamie Smith 33. Ben Stokes 6. Nothing else to really talk about there. As we mentioned before, Starc 7 for 58. Brendan Doggett 2 for 27, and Cam Green 1 for 10. Australia, Weatherall, he went for a duck on debut. Labuschagne 9, Steve Smith 17, Kawaja 2, Travis Head got 21, Cam Green 24, Alex Carey got 26 for England. Ben Stokes, he picked up 5. Brydon Cars picked up 3. Jofra Archer picked up 2. Now, Samir, Mark Wood bowled some serious pace. Did you see that deliver to what he did to Cam Green there?
Yep.
He almost took Cam Green's head off.
Roger, remember we had this conversation throughout the Australia-West Indies series. Cam Green is back to number 6 now, right? That's what we thought he was going to be. I think he's going to stay there for a while now until Smith and Marnus, get off the team. That's what it looks to me at this point. But I think Green at 6 is actually a really good spot for him. I know that this is a very, very tough wicket to bat on, and I'm pretty sure as the series goes on, Australia will improve in their batting. And remember, when Hazlewood and Cummins are back, if Hazlewood is back, I know Cummins is going to be back, but there's a big question mark on Hazlewood, right? So that's going to decide which direction the series takes. Now, Australian batting has been suspect. Remember, even West Indies gave them a lot of trouble, right? There were some very tough pitches to play in the West Indies, but Australia underperformed in that series too. Remember, they started off slow. Cameron Green eventually started to get some runs, but he didn't get a lot of runs in that series. at number 3. So they decided to go back to this new setup, which is pretty much back to the old. Marnus coming in at 1 down, Steve Smith at 2 down, right? But the problem is not Marnus at 1 or Steve Smith at 2. The problem is the opening combination. They are not being able to find another opener. This new kid for Australia looked literally out of sorts in the first 2 deliveries. He looked as if he was going to get out any ball, and that's what happened. Second ball, he was gone. My question to Australia is, Mitchell Marsh has been batting so well, and if Australia knew that this kid wasn't ready, why didn't they just go with Mitch Marsh?
To be fair though, Samir, this kid has been making a lot of runs in Shield cricket. That's why he was picked.
But he's not playing this kind of pressure, and he's definitely not playing this kind of an attack.
Yeah. By the way, big up Van
the pace that Archer was balling in that first over was fire. That Marnus wicket where he got Marnus out, Marnus was leaving the ball and it inside edged on the side of the bat and boom, bowl, right? So remember, Archer was balling close to 140, 145 in that spell. So I'm going to tell you something. I'm really, really upset right now with Australian selectors. I think, this was a mistake. You do not bring a player, and I know the kid, he's not a kid. He's played 10 years of, Sheffield.
He's 30 years old.
Yeah, I know, but remember, he's still playing his first test, right? It's a debut. You do not debut a player in the Ashes in the first game of the series. Remember, West Indies did the same thing. Who was the kid that West Indies debuted? Kevlon Anderson or somebody they debuted?
That was in the last game of the series.
I know, but guess what? He didn't have any match, right? This is the same thing. This kid looked like he was outmatched on the first delivery. It wasn't even as if the guy survived like 7 or 8 deliveries. He couldn't even survive 1.
All right. By the way, guys, welcome to the stream. Vante Williams, blessings, ardent West Indies cricket fans. Yes, Vante, West Indies definitely in trouble. Ashes is going on. We're watching the Ashes right now. We're watching both games actually. Samir, what's the score in the West Indies game?
The West Indies was like 110 for 7 or something. On break.
Yeah.
116 for 7 now. Springer and Chase are trying to rebuild a little bit, but it looks like it's pretty much over. This is going to be tough.
Awami vibes. Morning to you, Awami.
This looks like it's going to be over pretty quickly, like the third T20.
You know what's funny about it, Samir? The guys actually started pretty well because Agis and even John Campbell looked like he was getting into his own.
Yeah.
But
you know what happens, right? You know what happens. It's the last game of the series. That's what usually happens. Chase, as usual, scoring in a dead rubber, man. That's what he does. He's a specialist. He's a specialist dead rubber scorer.
Samir, you're gonna leave Rasta and Chase alone,
I am. I'm trying to leave him alone, man. I just can't help it. You can't have the guy score whenever the series is decided, right? Pakistan has some of these players, right? Whenever the series is decided, they go in and they score like big runs. And guess what? It's an automatic selection for the next series. The selectors say, hey, listen, he didn't score in the first 4 games of the series, but the 5th game, the guy scored a good 60, 70. He's got to be available to the team for the next series. And that's
by the way, Samir, so England, England has started their innings again. So Starc here steaming in. I wonder, Zach Crawley has to get some runs here tonight, man. Zach Crawley.
Yeah. Another player who's in trouble right now.
So he was prepped. Zach Crawley has been prepped for 4 years to play the Ashes because everyone believes because he hits the ball at the top of the bounce and he's an aggressive player. The ball doesn't move a lot sideways in Australia, Samir. So he's been touted, and he also obviously hooks and pulls and cuts very well. So he's been touted as the ultimate Ashes player. So the truth is he's been inconsistent as a batsman. He's averaging 30, and he's had some big scores. I think he has a couple of double hundreds actually.
Yeah, against Pakistan too. I think 267 against Pakistan.
Yeah, this is a very, very important series of his career because if he doesn't come good, he could be in trouble.
I don't disagree, Roger. I think the kid is in trouble. Zach is a good player. But listen, once again, the expectations are too much, especially when you're facing Starc at 140 plus. It's not
Mm.
easy. Remember, he's only played Starc till now in this test match. Six balls in the first innings, he's gone. Now he's played a couple of balls and he doesn't look good at all.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, once again, he's a candidate to get out again for a duck today.
Guys, what do you think? What do you think about the Ashes? What do you see happening in the Ashes this year? Can England take this one? I'm actually going for Australia, Samir. I know England they're on top here, but for me,
Listen, everybody wants England to win this first test. They know that this is their England's best chance to win a test here today. If Cummins come back, remember, Pat Cummins is the king of Australia right now. He comes back. If Hazlewood comes back, it's going to be very, very tough for England to win a game.
yeah.
Remember what happened in the Australia-India series, which was a tremendous series? But remember what happened. We spoke about it. India won the first test, and guess what happened? Australia came back all the way and won the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as the series goes on, Australia just keeps getting better.
So India, South Africa also. That comes up in 8 minutes. Bavuma won the toss. South Africa will bat, and they're playing in Kolkata. This should be an interesting one.
No, they're not playing in Kolkata. The first game was in Kolkata. This game is in Guwahati. It's all the way on the east coast of India, and it is basically the first test match ever played in Guwahati. So remember, this is the first test match ever played in Guwahati, and it's an early start. The reason is it gets dark very quickly. Hey, listen, Crawley gone for 0 again, man. Crawley's career is coming to a screeching halt.
What a brilliant catch by Starc.
Wicket number 8. Wicket number 8. What did I say? Hey, listen, Crawley is a candidate to get another duck today. 2 ducks in 2 days.
Oh my goodness, so unfortunate.
Hey, listen, here's the problem with Crawley. You know what the problem with Crawley is? He's facing one of the best in the world, man, at this point. He's facing Starc.
But he's supposed to be an Australian pitch batsman.
Listen, 10 balls.
England says.
Listen, 10 balls.
He should be dominated in England.
10 balls, 2 zeros. On the other side, hey, listen, West Indies just lost another wicket too.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Rishabh Pant is captain, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, we know that already, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty tough there for the West Indies. 25 overs.
Pretty tough.
124 for 8. Yeah, not looking good for
no.
Yeah, not looking good for the boys.
But you know, Roger, what it is, to be honest. I told you this before. I did predict a 3-0 sweep. The first 2 games, I think, were pretty close, right? And once West Indies loses those games, it was going to be tough in the third game. Remember, it's very tough in the dead rubber series. I know there are points on the line, but I think these guys have mailed it in.
Mm-hmm.
And what's disappointing is that once again, West Indies knows that they can compete here. So that's what's disappointing about this game. I don't think that West Indies feels that they're not able to compete against New Zealand, because they've proven themselves. In the first 4 games in the T20s, the first 2 games in the ODIs, you saw them compete.
Yeah, Awami. Brilliant catch. That is top stuff. Poor old Zach.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Starc alone has basically taken everything off. Are they trying to say that this is not a catch? I think this is a catch, man.
No. He's coming off. It was taking quite a while to get in.
Yeah, but it's a catch. This is a catch. This is a clear catch. You don't challenge this catch.
But should be interesting, Samir. So, what do you reckon? I mean, 19 wickets fell on the opening day. Do you think this game is going to end tonight?
That's very possible.
Both teams batted yesterday, right? So it's definitely possible that this could be the final day of the first test in Perth. Very possible.
Oh yeah, it's highly possible.
All right, let's see what happened. All right, guys. Ashes action there heating up. As I mentioned before, let me just pull this up again. England getting a 40-run lead. England 172, and now in the second innings, 1 wicket for no run, with Zach Crawley again going for a duck. So he picks up a pair. Australia 132. So Australia, although many would say this team is getting old, I still think the Australians still have that winning DNA. I mean, they're obviously playing without their captain, fantastic Patrick Cummins in this game, but I would expect that Australia should be able to lift the urn down there in Australia. So let's see how it works. See how it
Australia's
goes.
40 for 1 now, pretty much. England's 40 for 1. England's 40 for 1 right now. That's how they got to look at it. 40 for 1, you got to put a lead in place and then hope your ballers can repeat what they did in the first innings.
Yeah. And then over there in New Zealand, West Indies winning the toss. West Indies choosing to bat first. Got off to a relatively decent start, right? They got to 31 in 4.4 before they lost Akeem Ogis. He went for 17. John Campbell recovered from a nervous start. He got 26 on 24. Keith Carty, what do you call it, Samir? What was he, shoulder and arms when he dragged on? What the hell was he doing?
Carty's had a terrible series, man. Carty's had a terrible series.
I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah,
that was weird.
But you know what? Once again, it's all about strategy. I've been saying this for almost a year. West Indian fans know this. I've been saying it consistently that strategy has to be improved. And whenever it looks like they've improved the strategy, they always go backwards. I don't know. Unfortunately, that's the case. I think I know what they were trying to do with John Campbell in this series. But to be honest, they should have gone in a different direction. Even if they want to bring John Campbell in, Hope is somebody who should be batting at 1 down, and given Carty, a little bit of a reprieve, put him in the middle order, see how he does there, because Carty just definitely is a batsman who bats better without any pressure.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's not been in good form for the last couple of seasons, right?
And listen, Brandon King's another player who wasn't in good form. They eventually dropped him from the white ball setup, right? So it looks to me that it's going to be a similar scenario for Carty. They got to give him a little bit of a break, and then see where he goes from there. That's what it is. There's not a lot of ODI or Test cricket after this next Test series between New Zealand and West Indies, so there will be a break. Maybe that break might help Carty a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. Chase is there; he's on 24. So let's see what happens. Not much hope there. I think the West Indies pretty much, probably going to go. Well, definitely going to go down because New Zealand, they're a professional outfit, Samir. New Zealand is not the type of team that's going to screw up a 140 chase, right?
Yeah, but not only that, Roger, also remember that we've spoken about this. New Zealand in ODI cricket in the last 6 years at home has been the best team in the world. I think they've lost twice in 6 years. So you have to also understand what West Indies was up against, right? This wasn't Bangladesh that they were playing, and Bangladesh was struggling. This is a team that has been to the World Cup finals 2 out of the last 3 World Cups, right? Since 2015, they've been one of the best teams in the world, and they've proven it every series that they've played.
And good start here by Boland, Samir. This one, Duckett came forward and edged to slip, fell right in front of the second slip here.
What did I tell you? I think Boland in the second innings would be a lot better, right? Dropped.
Oh.
This is dropped. I think this is a drop. You think it fell a little bit forward?
I think so, yeah. That's the catch the ball Webster, right?
Yeah, it fell. It fell. It fell. It looked in live. It looked like it went all the way, but it didn't.
No. It fell in front of him.
Yeah, way in front. Way in front.
Yeah, maybe at least maybe 3 or 4 feet actually.
Yeah. But remember in Australia the ball flies, man. That's what it is. We're seeing this ball fly right now. England absolutely need to put some runs on it very quickly. Otherwise, these two guys are going to be very tough to, work around. I think wickets are going to fall consistently. England just try to score as many runs as possible. That's what you saw them doing in the first innings too. Remember, they scored their 172 in 30 odd overs. They were batting at 5-6 an over even when they were losing wickets.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have a fantastic Friday. That's what we're calling tonight, right, Samir? Fantastic Friday.
Hey, listen,
Friday,
that
Friday
South Africa India game. I think if you look at the squads, I don't see any surprises in those squads either.
Let's go through the starting the playing 11s for each team here actually. South Africa, because this is a big series. South Africa, the reigning World Test champions. So starting for the South Africans, Aiden Markram, he'll open with Ryan Rickleton, Wian Mulder, Tony DeZorzi, Temba Bavuma, Tristan Stubbs, Kyle Verene, Marco Jansen, Zenoran Mufasami, Simon Harmer, and Keshav Maharaj. So South Africa here, packed with spin, Samir.
Oh yeah, that's what's expected. That's what's expected, man.
Yeah, packed with spin.
They only have one change. Bosch is missing out. They're bringing in Mutasami, who's probably a spinner, right?
Yeah, and I tell you what, Anil Kumble Samir says it's a bat first pitch.
And that's what they're doing. They're batting first.
It's a bat first pitch, and of course, South Africa.
India's made 2 changes. Yeah. Sai Sudarshan and Reddy are in for Gill and Axar Patel. Are you surprised? Gill, we know he had problems, but Axar Patel being replaced by Reddy?
I'm surprised by that. Yeah. Especially on a wicket is expected to take some spin.
And Axar actually wasn't he batting 1 down?
Who batted 1 down the last? I think it was Washington Sundar.
Washington Sundar batted 1 down?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. In the first test, yeah. In the first test, Washi, he batted 1 down.
Yeah,
but Gill is injured.
But he won't be batting 1 down today with Sai Sudarshan coming in, will he?
Sai is also a left-hander, so maybe not, because I think they'll put him up there because he's left-handed.
Yeah. By the way, this India-South Africa test is a big test match, both for South Africa and India. Whichever team loses is going to lose some, standing in the WDC. You know what I mean? The World Test Championship. It's not going to be easy if you lose a test here. And there will be a result in this test match. I don't think this test match is going 5 days. I don't even think draw is on the table.
No way. I mean, we rarely see draws.
Especially with the big teams. When they play each other, they're going for the jugular.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have draws in Test cricket anymore, man.
Oh, we do. When it's weaker teams playing each other or it's flat tracks. There's no draws on when 2 big teams are playing.
It's very rare.
Yeah, very rare. I think England-India had 1 draw, right? And that came right down to the end.
Starc is getting some serious swing.
Yeah, not only serious swing, he's getting some serious pace. I think England is gonna have a hard time here.
Yeah, that ball really cut back into Ollie Pope. Whew.
Oh wow! At least he got a single out of it.
Yeah,
that's the credit you got to give Ollie Pope there. He got a single out of it. That's a ball that usually wrecks your wickets, man.
Hey, I hope good old Kevin Anderson is not watching this.
Poor guy. I think he's still having nightmares.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, so let's see how this goes. Enjoy the night, enjoy the cricket, and I think we'll be back tomorrow with some more of the same.
All right, guys, enjoy Friday. What are we calling it? Fantastic Friday,
Fantastic
right?
Friday.
Not
And guess
Super
what? We're
Friday.
going to have a Super Saturday tomorrow.
So Fantastic Friday, Super Saturday, two test matches, and of course the one international between West Indies and New Zealand. Big ones. The Ashes, England, Australia, or Australia, India, and of course the reigning world test champions, South Africa versus India. Again, edged. Oh, Ben Duckett, Samir.
Roger,
Edged.
but also remember, there's a Bangladesh-Ireland test match going on too. And then
Yeah,
tomorrow morning, there's a Pakistan-Sri Lanka T20. So there's a lot of cricket that is going to be played in the next 24 hours. Tons of cricket.
Yeah. I mean, Bangladesh, Ireland should be very competitive, actually.
Yeah, that was the 100th test match for Mushfiqur Rahim. Congratulations to him. He scored a century on his 100th game. Joined a very exclusive club. Extremely exclusive club. I think Javed Miadad had 100 in his 100 test against India. It's some way whenever you get a test 100, and especially if you get it against your arch rivals, that is something.
Yeah. This guy, Samir, Ben Duckett, he's a pretty good player.
Very good player.
Not the most aesthetically pleasing player, but he's a very good batsman.
He is a big reason for test match success for England, and the baseball style of play that Brendan McCullum and Stokes want England to play.
Do you think baseball is working in Australia?
Hey, listen, once again, it's early. It's early right now. We can't tell until this game is over if it worked or not, right? But here is the one thing I'm going to say.
That was a big argument, Samir, whether or not these guys can play this way against this type of attack.
Not consistently. They can't. But hey, listen, once again, the most important thing that for England today is going to be that you need Root to score some runs. I think Root has never scored a lot of runs in Australia, and I think that's been the mark against him, right? And I think this series was expected that Root will score some runs because he was in great form all year. And poor guy gets out for a 0 again, right? So there's going to be pressure, just like there was pressure on Zach Crawley as we started this innings, and Zach Crawley failed again. There's going to be a lot of pressure for Pope whenever he comes into bat. It's going to be a lot of pressure.
All right, cool.
I don't think that there's been any player in the history of cricket that is going to be having this much pressure, because look where he is. He's the second highest run scorer or so in Test cricket, right? You can't expect him not to score runs here. But it's going to be very, very tough if these guys are balling the way they're balling, man. I told you Boland is going to be a lot better today, right? And he is.
Okay. All right, Samir, let's wrap it up.
Yep. We see you guys again tomorrow on all your cricket and massive hit cricket.
All right. Until then, see you.